everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the q-revo. This is the Roborock q-revo robot vacuum cleaner and mop featuring dual spinning mops, auto drying, auto mop washing, and a self-emptying base. Roborock did send me this sample, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Take a look at the beautiful retail box and packaging, walking us through the contents on the side. We have some additional features and specs on the back side for you. You'll see on the front, they go through their reactive tech obstacle avoidance, the automatic mop lifting, 5500 PA suction, auto mop washing, auto dust emptying, and warm air drying for the mop pads. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and see what's inside. Looking for a secure and reliable way to access the internet? Look no further than ExpressVPN. Protect your personal information and browsing history from prying eyes. Act now and sign up for ExpressVPN today using our link in the description and receive an extra 3 months of service for free. Here's some of the contents. First up, we have a massive quick start guide with everything you need to get up and running, even a QR code to download and install the Roborock app. We have additional product info right here with safety information, user guide and manual, breakdown of each individual part and component here. It's really nice to see everything like this. We also have some additional information on the envelope where all of this literature was stored with your app connection settings. Look at that. QR code again to download the app. You'll also find that we have our power cord. We have an extra vacuum bag. And we have the base plate for our charging an all-in-one station. Next up is the rest of our base unit right here, where we have our dirty and clean water tanks with nice lift-away handles to easily remove, refill, empty, and clean as needed. Let's open both of them up. You'll see the full profile of them here. This is the dirty water tank. Got a little float to let us know when it's full and needs to be cleaned out. And then our lovely clean water tank here opens up to easily fill up as needed, then it just snaps shut. Let's look at the front of the base. You'll see indicator light, Roborock branding. This just gently pulls off and it reveals our vacuum bag. We have an extra one already and one that comes installed. They have instructions right there for removal as needed, but that just snaps in. Then you'll see this is where everything happens from self-empty to charging to refilling, cleaning, and drying. We have a little sticker here letting us know that we can remove this base plate. That's really helpful because over the course of time, this will get filthy, dirty, very disgusting. You'll want to rinse, clean, and maintain that as needed, but you can just pop it out right there. Love seeing that. Here's a look at the side profile. Flip it around to the other side. You'll see very similar here. And then let's take a look at the very bottom. You'll see our 6 grip feet here. A couple of screws looks like we can remove. Maybe we can get into that channel, not really sure. And let's flip it around to the very back side. This is great, guys. Very thoughtful design here. Power plug. Then we can fish and wrap the cable around as needed. And we have 2 channels to go out both of the sides to keep this flush against a wall depending on our trim. So I love seeing that there. Also thought it was interesting. We have, it looks like maybe a troubleshooting port here. A couple of ports. Little micro USB. It looks like a DC barrel connector plug. I'm guessing that is for their technicians only. But pretty cool. We have those ports on the back of this unit. And in case if you're wondering, this will just snap right on like that. And now you have the whole unit set up. Last but not least, we have the vacuum itself, and this one looks great. I love the little accent we have at the top. Got our LiDAR navigation module, 2 control buttons, Roborock's logo and branding all throughout. We can open up our flap to reveal the dust bin here. Removable filter to clean and replace as needed. Could also manually empty the bin if you wanted to. This is how it's going to work though. Self-empty will shoot air through here. It'll bring all the contents out this doggy door and back into the unit with the vacuum bag. So that's pretty neat, very clever design. Here's a look with the bin removed. QR code to download the app. You can see the brush roller peeking out through there. Let's go ahead, let's drop that back in. Let's look at it from the side. So on the back, charging contacts, water inlet there. We have our flap for the self-empty. So that's where everything's gonna exhaust right out. Navigational bumper, additional sensors here. Same with the front. We have our Reactive Tech obstacle avoidance built in. Side profile, looks like we got some exhausting there. And now let's flip it over to the very bottom with our dual spinning mop pads right there. Just little magnets keep everything attached in place, so they just snap in. Great to see. And they will move up and down, which is exciting, depending on if we're on carpet or not. And obviously they're going to scrub and spin around. You'll see our 2 spring-loaded drive wheels, main brush roller. We can easily remove the cover to clean, detangle as needed. And then it just snaps right back in place. Side cleaning brush, omnidirectional wheel. We have all of our cliff sensors there. And everything just looks really nice, simple, straightforward. This is going to be one of the most exciting things with this vacuum, is getting access to a spinning dual mop design paired with their Reactive Tech obstacle avoidance. So now let's go ahead, let's try it out. All right, we just finished our first clean. Now let's look at the results. First up, we're gonna pull out the dustbin. You'll see we have some hair already on the side. So let's pop the filter out. This thing is crammed tight and full of hair, crumbs, dirt, debris. This is disgusting. Yeah. Look at how nice it's packed in there though. So you can see pet hair, human hair, tons of food, dirt, dust, grass. Again, real world testing. That's my dog hair, my 2 kids, me. Look at how dirty the filter is after just one pass too. Amazing, amazing, amazing what you're able to see here. Some hair coming out the doggy door, as I call it, for the self-empty. So let's look now, with it removed, how everything looks inside. No tangles, no clogs or anything there. That's great. Now I wanted to flip it over. You'll see no tangles on the side cleaning brush, which is nice. Sometimes you might, depending on your model, find some hair, longer human hair tangled around here. So just if you do, pop that screw out, clean as needed. Here's the main brush roller. You're not seeing any tangles there. That's great. I love this design. That really helps keep hairs and stuff at bay. Couple hairs right there in the side, no big deal. And then here's our 2 mopping pads. They look great. Now again, it washed the pads during the cycle. So mid-cycle went back, washed and cleaned them, and after it was done, they got washed. And they were currently in the process of getting dried, and it's very warm. They were warm to the touch when I first took them out of the base after about, I'd say, 30, 45 minutes of drying. So they're damp to the touch now because it didn't finish drying them, but they look nice. So they look really clean still, good to see. And then the rest of the unit, we have some dirt and dust around here, but that's just because our house is dirty and dusty, but everything looks fine. really did a good job in the first clean. Now we're looking at the Roborock app. You'll see up at the top, once we enter into our vacuum, we have our previous clean stats and our current battery status right there. So it ran for 50 minutes, cleaned the whole first floor of our house, only used 32% of our battery, covered 51 square meters, so about a meter a minute there, pretty cool. You'll see the map's very detailed, row by row cleaning, really nice and thorough clean. Navigated around certain obstacles. These are chairs, tables, chair legs. That's what you're seeing there. Couch, and we have an ottoman. This is pretty cool too. We have these little cones letting us know it had certain obstacles identified. You'll also see the pattern here. So the darker blue with pattern, that's going to be your carpet flooring type versus just your hard floors and surfaces. That's the light. Another obstacle. Pretty sweet. So again, take a look how it clean navigates. It wants to do those long rows. First up, it'll go around the perimeter, then it will go back and forth as it cleans. You'll see some dotted lines too. That's where it's going back to the base to clean the mop, things like that. That's what those are as it drives to and from the base station. You'll also see we have the option full room or zones. That's how you can choose to clean. And what's nice, you'll see different cycles, how many times you want to clean the room. Up to you, pick and choose. You'll also see we have our mop and vacuum settings here. You can adjust the suction power, water flow, different route options. Keep it on standard, but if you ever need just like a quick, fast clean, you can choose the fast route. It's not going to be as thorough as the standard clean. And then you can customize each one. Just mop settings, just vacuum, and you want to change it room by room. Pretty cool that you have all of those options built into the app for the vacuum. Then we have our big clean button and our return to dock button. You also see we have this cube option. This is our map details. We can rotate it, choose to view it in 2D or 3D. We can add furniture obstacles, choose to show things. We also have the edit option. So here we go. We can set our no-go zones. Invisible wall, no-go, no mop. Just drag and drop wherever you want around your map. And then we can save it. It'll update the map pretty quickly. There we go. We have that updated now. And then really quick, I want to show you, we have a lot of settings here. So you can manage multiple maps, right? Choose, do you have a multi-level home? You can do all that right here. And then you'll also see carpet settings. I'd make sure carpet boost is on. You can also do deep carpet cleaning, toggle those on. There's your dynamic lift. So that's cool. And then I wanted to show you, we have some additional settings, off-peak charging. So if you want to maximize your energy savings and usage, you can toggle that on too. It'll only fully charge during off-peak hours. I love that feature. I love seeing that within Roborock's products. Haven't come across another brand doing that yet. But how cool is that? So you have that option right there to set up off-peak charging. Now it's time to talk about the specs of this vacuum. We'll be comparing it with the other 35 vacuums that we've tested here in our studio. Wow. First up, max suction power measured in PAs, 5,500. Typically the higher the better here. Roborock is always above average. 5,500 is their standard for their new models that they've been releasing, and you'll see compared to the average, pretty high. And the good news is it isn't always a causation, but typically there is a correlation between having a higher max suction power and the better and thorough deep cleaning in carpets and stuff like that. Same can be said for our next spec, Max CFM. Typically higher the better, but it doesn't always mean you're guaranteed a better clean from some models that have a lower CFM rating, but usually it's a good leading indicator. 8.7 CFM, again, above average compared to the 35 units that we've tested of 7.3. Moving right along, you'll see our deep cleaning score helps us to understand those previous values. We got a score of 90% clean with this vacuum versus the average tested of 86, so we are above average in our deep clean test. So carpets, pet hair, things like that, you'll enjoy the cleaning quality compared to the average RoboVac out there. Next up is our decibels. This is how loud the vacuum is. The lower, the quieter. So you want this value to be on the low end. We do test it with the max suction settings on carpet to give you a realistic measurement of this result. So this is one of the quieter RoboVacs we've reviewed, and it is noticeable. Maybe you caught in the video too. My dog was sleeping on the bed, didn't even notice the vacuum till it came up and bumped it. It will be noticeable in a room. You'll be able to tell it's running, but it's not that loud. So below average here, which is what you want. It's on the quieter side, even though it's very powerful. The good news here though, if you have one that's 68 or close to the average, you probably won't be able to tell too much of any difference. It's only really when they start to get to like 80 decibels, it's noticeably loud. You might be like, well, hey, is this vacuum okay? Like, what's going on here? So anyways, this is a quieter RoboVac, which I prefer. Next, we have our battery life measured in minutes, 180 minutes of runtime with this vacuum. Your actual results will vary. That's going to be your lab tested metric. But with this vacuum, that's going to be the average across Roborock's lineup. And you'll see that is substantially higher by about 40 minutes compared to all the vacuums we've tested. Battery capacity helps with the battery runtime. You'll see larger batteries tend to lead usually to, again, greater battery life. So in this case, 5,200 milliamp hours, that's standard for Roborock vacuums, and again, substantially higher than the average of about 3,600 milliamp hours. Next, we have our height. This is very standard across the board. Usually it's 3.6 or 3.8 inches, depending on if your vacuum's equipped with LiDAR navigation. They're right around that height. We do cover a lot of vacuums too that don't have LiDAR navigation, which is why you're seeing the average lower than that. But for any LiDAR equipped vacuum like this vacuum is here, they're all going to be right around the same height. Next, we have our bin capacity measured in milliliters. This has a 315 milliliter bin capacity for the dust bin. Now, typically with self-emptying RoboVacs like you see here, the bins are smaller than the non-self-emptying counterparts, which shows in our averages because that average consists of both self-empty and non-self-empty. I'd say in regards to a self-emptying vacuum, this is on the larger side of a bin capacity, but again, kind of a moot point because it will empty itself. Water tank capacity, also measured in milliliters, kind of a moot point as well when it can refill itself, which is what this vacuum can do. That's one of the premium features that you're paying for. 80 milliliter water tank, that's below average here, but again, that sample consists of a lot of vacuums that just have a mopping module where you refill the tank manually, and those tend to have a larger capacity as you would expect. This is just the tank on board here. This is not including the capacity of the water tank that you fill up that will last for days. And last but not least, let's talk about the cost of this vacuum. You'll see it's about twice the average in regards to price, but that does not tell us the full story. Typically, let me tell you, at the average price, you're getting a vacuum cleaner that has self-empty, has LiDAR navigation, and maybe, just maybe, has a mopping pad and module. Those are all features this vacuum has, as well as our obstacle avoidance, scrubbing mop pads, so 2 dedicated mop pads that actually scrub versus just drag across the floor. And one of the big kickers here is the fact that it not only cleans and dries your mop pads, it also refills the water tank for it. Also, we have the off-peak charge and a couple other nice features from Roborock. So that's really why you see the price point of this vacuum to where it is today. And if we're looking at it just through that lens, it's on the lower side of the price spectrum compared to the competition that offers similar features. So now, where does that leave us in regards to the Roborock? Well, I'm glad you asked. We have to look at it through the lens of comparing it to Roborock's very own lineup, as well as the competition like iRobot that you see here, or even Ecovacs. So with this particular vacuum, very well equipped with features and performance for the price compared to the competition. And it's good to see that Roborock is embracing the spinning mop pad design. That's one of my favorite features on Ecovacs vacuums. I just think it does a better job on the floors, definitely better than just the regular mop pad that drags behind. I would argue it does a better job even than the ones that vibrate really quickly. The spinning pads is just my own preference and favorite. But with this particular vacuum, I do want to point out that I was disappointed in the obstacle avoidance. I'm not sure if there's any updates in the future, what we need to be doing differently. The AI is cool when it actually identifies on the map with the little cones the objects there, but it's not as detailed as other models that can actually give you a little snapshot and picture of what's there, and with kind of like a guesstimate of It's certainty that it's a cord, a shoe, things like that. I'd like to see that sensor refined in the future to do a better job with cords, or honestly anything on the floor. I was hoping for more out of that, and I was also hoping that we'd have the camera feature, because the value would increase with this vacuum if we could unlock the potential to use the sensors or camera as a home security device. Some other models do have that, just depends what they're equipped with. In this case, it's not possible with this unit. I feel like that's a missed opportunity to pack even more value into a device like this. But it looks great. It works great. Some things need to be refined, maybe added in the future, as you'd expect with any item. But for the price, I welcome it to the market because Roborock's embracing the spinning mop design, and it's well within the competitive price range compared to all the competition.